Hello crafters! Welcome back to my Craft Source YouTube channel. So today I'm gonna go over using Decal 651 to make this awesome bathroom sign. So I have provided you a free SVG download for this file so you can follow along with us. I'm going to show you how to use this file in both the Silhouette and the Cricut software. Now I don't have a Cricut, so I won't be cutting it on the Cricut machine, but I thought it'd be nice to show y'all just how to open the file and to manipulate it to customize it the way you would like. So keep in mind, Silhouette does not allow you to open an SVG file. However, you can open a PNG or a JPEG image. So all you'll have to do is have an image of this file that I'm posting in order to follow along with the Silhouette. And with the Cricut, just grab that SVG file and follow along. So to begin with, open up Silhouette Studio and let's grab a JPEG or PNG file. I'm just going to show you what happens when you do open an SVG. You're going to get an error code because it's not a supported format. But no worries. We're just going to go grab a JPEG or a PNG image of the file and it'll open up into Silhouette just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and resize my image to fit on a 12 by 12 piece of vinyl. I've already adjusted my page setup to show the width and height as 12 by 12. You'll need to play with the threshold a little bit to try to get the exact lines you wish to have cut. I also adjusted the scale a little bit. Once I'm happy with what is selected, I'm going to hit the trace button. Now you can see I've traced my image and I'm ready to release the compound path so I can fill each individual font to be the color I wish to use for my vinyl. Now you don't have to go back and fill in with the different colors. I just did it so I don't get confused when I'm going to send my cuts. So when I right click, I go and release my compound path. Now everything is individual entities. So I'm going to choose my gray here. And then next I'm going to use some of the teal color here. And I'm just going to keep going through the different fonts and picking and choosing which color I wish to have to represent my vinyl. So in the end, this is the color pattern I decided to use. So now let's go to the Send tab. Under the Send tab, we're going to adjust our material for the different vinyl that we're using. I'm using Decal 651. So I just want to make sure my settings match these cut settings. Always perform a test cut before you send your full image to the cutter. So my first layer is the gray layer. I'm going to send this as my first layer to the cutter. I've loaded my vinyl onto the cutter with the gray Decal 651. Next, it's time to choose our second layer, which is going to be the black. So I've selected all the black items. I'm going to select the cut button and then I'm going to send it to the cutter. Next, for our final layer, we're going to do the teal. Once I select each teal item, I'm going to select the cut button and then I'm going to send it to the cutter. Now we have all three of our layers cut out of our vinyl. Let's see how this is done in Cricut Design Space. So we're going to click the Browse button and we're going to open our SVG file that I've provided for you. Now that you have that opened, we're going to save that in Cricut Design Space. Now we're going to click the image here in our recently uploaded images and open it into our workspace. You then need to resize your image to fit a 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl. You can send it to the cutter as it is if you want to use one color, or you can find the contours of the different layers we're going to cut. To do that, you just click the contour button and then you go and select each individual item you wish to cut. Here is our black layer. So now I just need to right click and duplicate so I have a copy of the image. And then I'm going to go to contour once again to now find the shapes of my second layer. So you can use the scroll bar here, or you can simply click each image in the generated preview to select the items you want to cut for this layer. Now we need to duplicate it one more time so we have a third image. We're going to use our contour button once again, and now we're just going to select our teal layer. So now I'm going to go in to the fill colors and fill in each layer with the colors I'd like to use. And then I'm just going to line it up once again so I can make sure everything is here. You don't have to line it up, but I think it's nice to have that visual representation of what to expect on the other end. So we have 3 layers. And here you can see when we turn them off and on, it shows each layer that's going to be cut. And now we can go to our Make It button. Once in the Make It tab, we will then see each of our layers on a mat of their own. I've got my cuts made here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with using the Decal 651. My sign is 3 different colors, so I've chosen 3 different colors of vinyl. I chose the gray for some of the words, just a black, and this teal color. My sheets are 12 by 12, so I've resized my image to cut out on a 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl. So there'll be a little bit of waste on the side of each of these sheets. Just gonna go ahead and start weeding away all the excess. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and weed away some of the excess vinyl here. Take your time when weeding. You don't want to rush through this process, especially if you have the script fonts like I do. If you pull too quickly, it tends to pull the little thin lines and the little wispy ends away and distorts your vinyl. Here is our first layer that's been weeded. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to my black. We're just going to do the same procedure. I'm going to go ahead and remove all the cavities off of my black. move on to our next layer, which is our gray. We're just going to follow the same technique. Now on my gray, I have some space that I don't have any words cut out on, and I'd like to reuse that vinyl at another date. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim that out and save this little square for future use. No reason to waste that. That's our gray. Now I have all 3 layers weeded. I'm going to start with my black layer as my first layer to transfer onto the transfer mask. I just need a sheet of mask that's slightly larger than my design. Once I place it on my vinyl, I'm going to take the squeegee and run it over to remove any air pockets that may have occurred between the vinyl and the transfer mask. Okay, so we've squeegeed over that. Now we just need to pull back our transfer mask, which will have our vinyl adhered to it. Notice a spot where you might have missed with a squeegee, you can just go right back over it before you peel it off all the way, just to make sure you got all the little bits and pieces. There we go. So our first layer has been transferred onto our mask. We're going to use the gray for our next layer. See how there's a cutout here? I need to make sure that I have some of this white paper behind my sheet so that way my vinyl doesn't stick to my table or whatever surface I'm working on. This is a tedious process. You want to take your time and go nice and slow as you transfer the different layers onto the transfer mask. Okay, so we're just going to run our squeegee over that to make sure that we've got a good bond to our transfer mask. Make sure we've removed any air bubbles or gaps that are between our mask and our vinyl. That way we're getting a proper alignment. I'm using the dots at the bottom of our design as registration marks, so that way I know where everything needs to line up properly at. Now we're just going to peel those 2 layers back off of the paper backing. And we're going to get ready to apply our last layer, which is our teal color. This one might be a little tricky because there is a bend in the sheet, but we're going to give it a try, see how we do. So I'm aligning the dots at the bottom as my registration marks. Another technique you could use is taping down the image to the table before you apply your transfer mask. Because as you can see, it kind of bubbles up on us as we're trying to apply the mask over the top. So taping it down at the corners would help with this, but I have a tablecloth on my table, so it really didn't help me out any, so I just chose to proceed without doing that. Then I'm just taking my squeegee and running over the transfer mask once again to make sure everything is bonded properly. So now we got all 3 layers onto our transfer mask. If do get an air gap, you can kind of squeegee them out and make sure everything's aligning up again by just applying a little bit of pressure, kind of rocking your squeegee back and forth to sort of guide that air pocket away from your mask. This is as far as I'm going to go in this video, just for time's sake, but you can tune in for our next video to where we take this decal and place it onto a glass piece. I used Decal 651 vinyl in a gray, a black, and a teal color to make this awesome bathroom sign. Now I just gotta go find a bathroom to put it in. Once you're done creating your awesome bathroom sign, post a picture in the comments so I can see how great you did. I love to see all y'all's projects. See you guys around. Would you like to see this applied to the glass of a frame? Then tune in to our next video to see how we use the hinge method to apply this decal to a glass frame.